When it was announced that President Donald Trump would make a speech to celebrate the 4th of July weekend at Mount Rushmore, the news media had a problem. Their task was to make Trump's speech more divisive than the people pulling down our nation's statues. Their goal was to say Trump was engaging in a cultural war simply by defending our nation's culture, our presidents, from the mobs that burn and loot and destroy and tear down statues. These mobs are all Democrat. So here we have a dispassionate title by USA Today, although they choose a goofy picture of Trump. This goofy photo of Trump here is one repeated across the media. Now this is a good title. Trump defends monuments in fiery Mount Rushmore speech. I watched all 42 minutes of President Trump's speech, and I advise anyone watching this to go watch it as well. Watch the full 42 minutes, unedited, by any news media agenda. CNN, Trump doubles down on divisive messaging in speech to honor Independence Day. Now, that's CNN lying to their audience about what was in the speech, because CNN did not cover or carry the entire speech for the CNN audience. The same for any of these other news outlets attacking the speech. They did not allow their viewers or readers the opportunity to judge for themselves. And this is key with the media mantra. The media will tell you what to think, but they will not give you the facts in today's modern era. CNN did not play the entire 42-minute speech. MSNBC did not play the entire 42-minute speech. It is the job of the news media to present the facts to you, and then if they want to, they can present their own opinions after the 42-minute Trump speech, which they refused to do. Why? Because this would harm their message. He defended statues of the four great Americans behind him. He gave little monologues on their historical accomplishments, starting with George Washington, then the Thomas Jefferson, to Abraham Lincoln, and finally Theodore Roosevelt. Trump's other portion of the speech was to simply say, burning our cities is bad, tearing down our country's statues is bad. Now, the news media, as one of their fake news attacks, likes to say that Trump is a Confederate admirer, that he admires the Confederacy from the Civil War, that he admires statues of the Confederacy. Trump has never ever said this. How could a real estate magnate and reality show host from New York City be a fan of the Confederacy? There's no facts behind that. The reason the news media pushes that narrative is that they want to say that Trump is somehow racist if he says, don't tear down our nation's statues. So in this case, if you go and watch the speech by President Trump, hey, guess what? At no point does he express admiration for any Confederate politician, figure, general, or statue. That's right. He talks about statues of the United States, politicians of the United States. But if you look at the news media coverage, they want to take your attention away from the burning of minority-owned businesses. They want to take your attention away from those tearing down our nation's statues. They want to make Trump the enemy of the American people. This is a tall order, but if you control 100% of the news media and your only job is to serve the Democratic Party, it looks like the media is going a long way towards that message. Go watch the president's entire 42-minute speech, and you will see what he actually says, and it's not anything the media is reporting it as. Now, the other thing I'd like to mention about the president's leadership over these past few years, if you think about black power, think about how the black community feels let down often by the police presence, or how they feel let down by the lack of economic opportunities. You'll notice that all of the riots and all the burned out stores occur in towns run by liberal Democrat mayors, and often in states entirely run by Democrats, all the way up to the governorship, such as Minnesota. But let's talk for a moment about black power. What is the quickest path to black power? The quickest path to black power is to vote Republican. If you vote Republican, and specifically if you vote for Donald Trump as an African American, That is the surest route to gaining a job, to increasing your family's income. African Americans who have more money in their pocket have more power. The power offered by the Democratic Party is nothing but scraps from the white Democrats' dinner table. They offer a tiny little handout, a little assistance check, and they say, just vote for us, vote for the Democrats, or those evil racist Republicans are gonna get ya. This message is the divisive message. That message that Republicans are racists and Klansmen and they're going to get you. That's not true. It is the division of the Democratic Party that has divided this nation. Donald Trump speaks in defense of our nation's culture, which is shared by all ethnicities. Donald Trump speaks in defense of everything about our nation that you want to pass on to your children. And in the final analysis, this is what this Mount Rushmore speech comes down to and why it's so important. Do you want to have this country left to your children by being run by the people tearing down our statues and burning our cities? Or do you want to leave a country to your children as represented by respect for the rule of law and our country's culture?
Excuse me, Captain Kurt.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Scott.
The charming negress. Oh, forgive me, my dear. I know that in my time some use that term as a description of property.
But why should I object to that term, sir? You see, in our century, we've learned not to fear words.
May I present our communications officer, Lieutenant Uhura?
The foolishness of my century had me apologizing where no offense was given.
We've each learned to be delighted with what we are.
I can tell you which America I want to see my children to inherit. This America. Not this America, and not this America. Our children and their children deserve better. Thank you.